sending your data over the VPN. So I don't know why they don't do that. Help. If you're stuck with anything, you can send an email to rt@clipper.kip.edu. That email winds up in a message queue, and we will get to it. Right now, it's basically just Matt and I. Matt's a senior working another job, and only has a couple hours. I have another job teaching sometimes, so I only have a couple of hours. We're working our way through them as quickly as we can, but we don't have a whole monster staff of people answering RT. But we will get to them. We do some triage. If it looks like it's going to be a big deal, we'll try to get those first. The things that should go to RT are anything that you think is wrong, that you would like to see improved. If you need software put onto a lab machine, so sometimes if you're familiar with Ubuntu, we've had people say, well, I'd like to have this editor installed. All right, we'll do that. That's not a problem. If something's not working, if you sit down at a lab machine and it doesn't work, please send us an RT message about that. If things are down, or they're slow, or if you can't log on, or something seems to be installed but not installed properly, let us know all of those things. We'll get to fixing them as quickly as we can. RT is kind of the way to do that. We have this support web page that's now partially hidden. You're saying if I go to sites, CS, oops, that's not right. And if you log on, and where do I go? Browse.
Department General.
And equipment support. Ooh, pretty. So a lot of the stuff that we talked about today is going to start showing up in here. Links to our software and things like that are going to start showing up in here. And information that you might find useful is going to start showing up in here. Again, students doing it, Jess, she's in the back. She's also doing some other stuff, so she will get to it as quickly as we can get to it, but it may not be right away. And password support. This has been the big thing. If you need to change your password or for some reason it stops working, go to this web page. I just got this thing finished. What this page is going to show is you put in your shift user ID and password. That's what you use next door to log on to info. They don't actually let us talk to their servers, and maybe I should put this on videotape, but I found a way. What you said there, I found a way to check your user ID and password. Well, what we do is we use your credentials, and I try to open up an FTP connection to their server downstairs, because you can do that. And so we try to do that. And if we're successful, I don't delete your file, I don't erase your file, I just open the connection. And if it says FTP okay, then I know that you're a valid user downstairs. If it says FTP not okay, then you didn't put your user ID or password in. Don't put the @shift.edu part, just your username and your password. Then, down here, you can put in whatever password you want, right? So I don't have any crazy restrictions on your password. I think they do downstairs. Like it has to have uppercase and lowercase and symbols and non-spaces and spaces and symbols and non-symbols and Spanish exclamation points upside down, all that kind of stuff. You have to like crazy things. And then you got to change it every 6 weeks. No, none of that. It's just ridiculous. So put in a password. I think the minimum length is 6. Make it something useful. Down here, click whether you want to change your Unix password or your Gmail password or both. And submit changes, and it'll go off. And if this is correct, it will reset your password. And then I'll try to log on as you before I say that everything is okay. And if it worked, then we know your password got changed here. And then I'll try to log on to Gmail as you, and if it worked, then I'll know your passwords are okay. It'll say everything is A-okay. If it doesn't, if this doesn't work or this part doesn't work, send it to RT. Then let me know, because it should work for everybody. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Can you bring up the one, I wasn't fast enough to get it whenever you're up there, in the self-serve DB file, that the 4 lines out of USB has such a type media.
By the way, I gotta be proud when I can be. We got, what, 10 megabytes per second here. We did that same test over there on one of the brand new iMacs they installed in the back of the room on their network server. You want to guess how fast it was? They spent a lot of money on their stuff downstairs. 500 kilobytes per second. I look, half the speed of a floppy disk. So that's one of the main reasons why we're going through all this crazy stuff that we're maintaining our own resources. We could not support a high-quality computer science program with 500 kilobytes per second. I mean, that would be going back 30 years, and we're not going to do that. So when things work, I'll be very proud of it, and sometimes they don't work so well. But we're getting there. Are there any questions about this or anything else that you wanted answered for a long time? Phil?
What's the name of that computer up there? Like this one's MCT162S28.
This should be 32. Okay, cool.
Can you get an SSH into his computer?
Just remember, I can do that to you too.
I know.
And in fact, it's really, you guys will see something really fun. It's Friday.
I'm just gonna see if
Like having different into PP level.
I love TNT. So we use different tools to manage all these different computers, and one of them is this tool called Cluster SSH. And it allows me to open up a connection to all the machines in this room, presumably somebody hasn't turned them off.
lost one, two.
And some of them have been turned off. For our slow. Ready? I love this noise. You ready? Not doing it. This is what we do to occupy ourselves. So yeah, sometimes we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So if you're in the middle of a class and your machine suddenly reboots, I forgot what machine I was on. There was a class in here. Sorry about that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Anyone that doesn't have any background in Linux, how could he write these commands in a minute if you something?
There's some really nice documentation out there. Not to be contrite about it, but if you do something like Linux tutorial or Linux command line tools, you know, there's just really nice stuff that's been developed over the years. And you just kind of find what you're looking for. So I'm looking for moving around the file system. Here are all the different ways of CDs and RMs and mixers and whatever. There aren't that many commands that you need to know to be proficient. You know, CD, RM, careful with RM, that's remove files. It can be very, very, very destructive. RMs are that kind of stuff. Move and be. Once you get your hands on those, the rest all kind of go from there. GCC. One of the cool things you can do is Java C from the command line. So if you have a Java file, you can do Java C and compile it without having to run Eclipse, which is really kind of nice because then you can run Java from the command line without having to run Eclipse. So you can navigate through that. What's really nice is you can use that SSH thing that we just talked about, or the clustered SSH thing, and you can run a Java program on all these machines as your user IP. So if you have some kind of distributed parallel processing thing by running the command line, you can distribute jobs out and do some really neat stuff. So the internet is probably your best resource for that. Or find a senior. becoming really good friends with Matt.